we're excited. Look at this bus. This rolled into our state park over here in Rodman State Park, just about an hour south of St. Augustine. The cutest couple you've ever met in your life. You know, they rolled in and I said, you know, we need a tour of that. And he's, you know, I was just joking, but he's like, come on in. And you know, within a few minutes, we were having a tour right as they landed. And we were joking, we were like, there's no way we'd be that show ready, you know, in 3 minutes to show someone a tour of our whole RV.
Right.
It wouldn't happen, no way. So anyway, look how incredible this is. This is just totally awesome. So we're gonna go inside and have a peek.
Yep.
Hey guys!
Hi. Come on in.
Tell us who you are.
I'm Kyle. This is my wife Naomi.
Hi.
Hi.
This is our dog Trip, appropriately named for the bus. Come on in.
Thanks for doing that with us.
No problem.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Shutter Speed. This is our house, our full-time house. We sold the house 3 months ago, and we've been full-time.
Yeah, it's been a labor of love. Yes.
It's the name, Shutter Speed?
Shutter Speed, the Skoolie.
Okay.
You know, they call Skoolies, that's the name for buses that have been converted into houses, and so it's S-K-O-O-L-I-E. So
Love it.
If you ever see another one, if you want to act like you know what you're talking about, you say Skoolie.
We like your schoolie.
Yeah.
We like your schoolie. So tell us about your schoolie. Tell us like whose idea was it?
Yes, there's a little kind of a cute story behind it. So Kyle and I were just dating, and he decided to plan a trip for us, and the Airbnb that we were staying in was a romantic bus in the woods in Asheville, North Carolina. Check it out, it's actually pretty cute.
Cool.
But we were sitting there at night, and he was giggling, and he was like, we could totally do this. And I was like, all right, you know, like, we could totally do this, kind of shrugging him off.
Yeah.
And then I was at work one day, maybe a couple months later, and he was like, I think you need to take tomorrow off. And I was like, well, why? And he said, well, because I think we should buy a school bus. And I think I found one. And I was like, all right, here we go. So I took off the next day. We drove down to Vicksburg, Mississippi from Indianapolis, and bought this 2001 Thomas International.
Thomas
International. Apparently I don't even know my school bus is still. But we bought it, and we were just dating at the time. We took 2 years to convert it into what it is today. And during that time, we obviously got engaged. We got married, and then this is our big adventure before the adventure of kids. So that's why we're doing it.
A bus and a dog.
Yeah.
You guys are so awesome. I've said that a million times that they are. I needed internet yesterday because we're in, again, a state park, and you know, Naomi just quickly offered me her. I'm not saying that anyone can just come into their schoolie and use their internet. That's not what I'm saying. But they've been just so gracious, and I was in here last night having a meeting, so it was just really awesome.
Yeah, anytime. We were happy to help. So
It's so fun. You guys are from Indiana.
Yep.
And then you guys started this 2 years ago.
So the conversion process took roughly 2 years, and so it's been close to 2.5 now since we actually bought it. So we bought the bus in January of 2020. So I guess it's just been a little over 2 years now.
Yeah.
The conversion took a little under 2 years, and then so when we got done, I believe in the beginning of November, we listed the house. The house that we did live in a house, believe it or not, and we sold that immediately when we got finished, and then right when it sold, we took off, and then so we've been to I think 11 or 12 states so far.
Roughly, I think this is like our 20th spot that we've actually been in. So I'm trying to keep track and write down all of the places that we've been, but I guess we'll see how that works out in the end.
So we're tackling
the
the Midwest and Florida and all that while it's wintertime, and then the second March hits, we're going to start heading west and hitting all the national parks and trying to do as much as we can before the end of the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
What changes did you do on the bus?
So I can send you guys footage.
Yeah.
Put it in this if you want.
Yeah.
I know, I'm excited too. It was a big shell, so we bought it from this nice family in Vicksburg, Mississippi, where the Naomi has baby fever now. We bought it from a couple in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and what he did, he was an engineer, and he basically had the seats taken out and he had the roof raise done.
Okay.
And so when the
was
roof,
already done.
Yeah, the roof raise was done and the seats were out, so it was basically just a big shell.
What about the windows? Were they still in?
Nope.
or-
So these weren't in. It was just basically all just metal.
Okay.
It was
It's
just
like a big brick.
big brick
Wow.
is a pretty accurate statement.
So you didn't have to do any welding.
No, we did do welding underneath the upstairs, which we'll show you guys. But underneath the upstairs of the bus is supports that my friend Cody and I welded in with his welder that he had in his garage. So first time welding, but they seemed to be doing great. We kicked the crap out of them after we were done, and they didn't move. So and once you screw in wood and attach everything, it structurally gets stronger. So
Yeah.
we think we did a good job, and so it's worked out so far. So it was a big shell, and then we just tackled it project by project. Went to YouTube, learned all the things we needed to learn. We had hired help with the electrical and a lot of different projects. A guy named Carl in southern Indiana, he was a big help in helping us get us across the finish line. So between after work projects, weekend projects, and help from hired help and help from friends and the occasional help from the brother-in-law and things like that, we got it done.
It always takes longer than you think it does, right?
Yeah.
We tried to get it done in one, it took two.
Right. And your furniture, is that here? Or
Some of
No,
it
this
was.
is plywood, isn't it? Is that
Yeah,
self-built?
so Kyle built the frame. This
Okay.
couch, it's a futon, but got it on overstock, and then we just decided not to put the legs on it, and we took one of the arms off to make it fit in our space.
Oh, perfect.
So everything that we kind of picked up, it was a hodgepodge of Amazon and overstock,
Okay.
and
IKEA.
some of it's IKEA. Yeah.
Yeah. So for stuff like this, everything, as you know, in RVs and buses, everything's got to have a purpose and dual purpose and storage. And so instead of having the futon base, we built our own frame that slides out, so it can slide out, and then that click clacks down for a full bed for guests to stay. And then we also, another reason why we built the frame is that we can have a bunch of storage underneath. But even stuff like this chair that I worked in from the office.
That was super comfortable last night. Yes.
okay.
I was like, I need that little cushion there.
So this is kind of like the workstation.
Yeah.
We'll just give
Because you both work, right, on the road?
Full time.
We do.
Full time on the road. And what do you guys do? Because I think that was our biggest question. When we would watch people travel, I was like, what do you do? How can you have that kind of lifestyle? Because to us it was so, I'm just an executive chef. I don't know, we didn't see it working for us until we found a way.
You
Yeah,
got at the right
so-
job, yeah.
With that, I was blessed enough to have a job that was already remote going into this. So I was very lucky to just naturally go into it. I'm a recruiting coordinator for a sales company, and it's just one of those wonderful companies. So I'm one of the first interviewers when you apply for a job.
Oh, fun.
So that's my job.
You just need a cell phone signal for the most part.
Yeah, I really just need a cell phone signal, or be able to call them, and sometimes Wi-Fi calling plays in there. So just a signal, and we're good to go.
And this guy needs the uploading.
Yeah, so he
Okay,
does
that's
everything else.
frustrating.
So
In a state park.
I work for a mortgage company. I run. I help run their digital marketing department, mainly video and online coaching for salespeople and stuff like that. So I need a Wi-Fi signal. But I've been working for the company for multiple years now, and COVID was kind of a good proof of concept.
Yeah, that's true.
I went and had a meeting with the CEO, had my presentation of how I was going to make this work. And COVID was a great proof of concept in the fact that I had been in the office for, a year and a half anyway. So I think that whole cultural shift with work is not just applied to us, but also applied to a lot of people. And so I think there's a big opportunity for people doing this lifestyle in the future. You just have to be able to articulate how you're going to be able to do your job. And there were sacrifices in my job. I had to take a pay cut to justify that to the other employees of what I was doing. But again, I was happy to take it because it was something that we don't have a mortgage now, and it's one of those trips that we're doing once in a lifetime. So we're prepared to sacrifice a little bit to gain a lot.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I don't think you could put a price tag on. I mean, we've been doing this for 6 weeks. Well, for the freedom, but and also just like all the people we've met in 6 weeks' time. I'm like, you couldn't put a price tag on it. We've had the most interesting conversations, and I think people who do this are outside the box thinkers anyway, or maybe more free spirited, and it's really fun to just kind of swap stories and that kind of thing.
Yeah. We do feel like we're super lucky to be around this lifestyle and other people who have similar mindsets with us. Bless you. We do miss family back at home, right? Your family, friends, like those deeper connections, but it's so fun meeting like-minded individuals who also feel a little bit more free, living their life, right? I know.
Yeah, we've met a ton of people. We had so far we've met the guy that has the world record for being shot out of a cannon.
No.
He would happen to be two spots down from us.
Yeah.
We've met.
Is that on?
We've met. Gosh, who was somebody else? Oh yeah, we met the dad from Forrest Gump in Pensacola.
No way.
Yeah, like the drunk,
Okay.
or Jenny's dad, the drunk, whatever.
Yeah.
And I looked him up afterwards to fact check him. It was him. So just you run into. There's a lot of stories. I'm sure we'll have some at the campfire tonight.
I know. I can't wait. We got wine ready.
Yeah. My favorite.
This is the driver's seat. This is where I spend a lot of my time. Original dash, everything. We installed cameras. We put 2 on the sides and 1 on the front and back. That gives us the opportunity to see things around us because it's not as accessible without all the windows. But everything is pretty much stock. So this is exactly what the bus driver drove 21 years ago when he was driving, or he or she was driving kids in Mississippi. So we love this. We like to keep it stock. That way, if anything ever goes wrong, somebody can come in and actually knows what they're looking at, and it's not modded out. So up top above the driver's seat we have a TV, and this is where we watch our Netflix, Hulu, all that kind of stuff. That attaches to our internet that we have throughout the bus. And then we just built a little junk drawer so you can kind of see what they used to look like. It's obviously insulated, but behind here is just one of those metal poles, and so this was kind of where they hung the bus mirror and everything. So we use that, and that's just kind of our junk drawer that we have.
I have one like that that's long, and I'm...
So, people ask, where do we work? Naomi works in the back, I work in the front. This is where my command center is, and then this is also where I store all the stuff. I'm a videographer, so I store camera equipment, important documents, all that kind of stuff goes here. So this is kind of like the workstation slash place where we eat. And then we have the couch as well with all the storage. And then Naomi, you can talk about the fridge and all that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is our fridge and freezer. During our building process, I ended up making a couple of mistakes. So I had to hide my dents that I put into it with something, and so I did magnetic spices. So those are not just for decoration, they serve a purpose.
I don't think anybody would ever tell.
Yeah, see? I like it. We decided not to have an oven. We just don't see that in everyday life. So we really just use bonfires or campfires if we really need it.
And the oven we have is so tiny you can maybe cook bacon or cookies, and that's all it's good for.
You really don't need too much to cook anyway. So
only Thanksgiving.
But
hopefully we're invited somewhere.
Turkey sandwiches.
Turkey sandwiches, I was just about to say. So we're not chefs like you, but I do like my space. I really just wanted a lot of counter space. That was like my number one thing. I really wanted butcher block.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we did that. My biggest feature that I really wanted was a big sink. We found this off of Amazon. It was just one of the easiest things, easiest buys. And when we were doing our build, we decided we would all have like important things, right? So what's important to you? What's important to me? And I said a big sink and a shower. That's the only things that I really wanted out of it. Kyle then was like, well, I want a TV, I want a comfortable couch. And so we really talked about like the things most important to us and built from there. So big sink was my bigger thing. If you look down here, you can see all of our water heaters and our diesel heater. All of our components are in there. And then all of our, this is kind of gross, but all of our plumbing is in here. And then that backs up to our shower.
Awesome.
So also we have all of our control panels in one central area and out of the way.
Okay.
So everything that we would possibly need for the bus right there.
What about the ceiling?
So
Is that just
Kyle is actually probably the best one to talk about the ceiling.
So the ceiling is cedar planks. So basically what you do with that is behind all the walls and stuff, that's kind of how you see it's all put together, right? So we have all the stuff that makes it look pretty, but on the out, there's the ribs of the bus. So that's what makes a bus so safe, and that's part of the reason why we decided to go the bus route, is because it's structurally extremely safe compared to an RV. Because I had to drive kids around, right? So there's these really big ribs that go all the way across the bus, and so you just attach furring strips all the way across, and then basically you just run the cedar planks, tongue and groove, all the way around. So it can be really complicated and stressful to get those in, but that's how we were able to accomplish a cedar plank roof, is because of the furring strips attached to the ribs of the bus. So we were really happy with the way that came out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. A few different
And does
things.
it keep the bugs out? Not the ladybugs. You said.
Not the ladybugs apparently, but yeah, it's been pretty good so far. We've had a few leaks in the bus. We had a really bad storm in Alabama, but we were grateful for the storm because it showed us where the leaks were, and then I just took the ladder and went on the roof and patched them up. So if you ever do, if you ever do buy a bus, there's going to be leaks, and especially when you mod it out and put in RV windows, and you have to make sure that you do it right, and even if you try your best, you're going to find leaks anyway. It's how it works. So luckily, I think we have all of the leaks found out. We've been pretty good so far.
Yeah, he fixed that all
It
up.
sounds like a fun project, definitely.
Yeah.
Something I would love to do. Really.
Hey, so, and then back here, so underneath my feet, that's where we put all of our battery components, and we just hid that in the flooring.
I saw you have a ton of solar on the roof.
Yes. So underneath, this is how we power the bus.
Okay.
So that's our 3,000 watt inverter from Renogy, our two 200 amp hour batteries, and then the solar is fed through here. So all of our electrical components are here, and then it runs to here, which is our control panel, which you have your normal breaker board like you would have at a house.
Yep.
Water heater, diesel heater, water pump, and this is the gauge in which juice we have. We're plugged in, so it's at 100, and this is all solar components right here. So that is how we keep our bus running when we're not plugged into something.
Yep.
awesome.
So we just hid that away a little bit. We have all the undesirables hidden away some way or another. And then if you want to come back here, we purposely put the shower here because all of our water components are in one main area. So we have a full, bigger shower in most RVs. We decided to put a bunch of pockets in here for all of our stuff. A lot of extra storage space. Obviously an IKEA sink, and then we just painted it up. For the most part, this is one of my favorite design areas that we did. And then, so we have our AC unit up top. We have a queen bed, and then just because Kyle is taller, you're another tall guy, so you understand. We also had a dog, so we were like, hey, let's extend it out so we have extra foot room, and maybe the dog will sleep down there. That's not the case. The dog sleeps with us. So we just keep like water bottles and stuff like that down there. We put all of our seasonal storage underneath, so like the bigger dog foods and socks and underwear, and just like our hiking gear, anything that we need, we throw under the bed. And then our everyday stuff, so sorry, this is tight back here, but we have all of our everyday clothes where you can just grab and go. We have a hanging hamper, so that works. And then this is like our garage area. So we have our scooters to get around because we don't tow a car. There's just the two of us, right? And just some tools to get up on there. So if you want to come out here, one more thing. Yes. This is our back deck area, and that goes all the way up to our rooftop deck. And we put our Wi-Fi is connected to our ladder, so we have that. And then underneath me is where we store all of our hoses and black tank hoses and all of that good stuff. So everything had a purpose to kind of hide the undesirables.
Okay, so Kyle, tell us about the outside of the bus. What did you do?
Yeah, so we put in RV doors. So when you raise the roof of a bus, everything, all the doors and everything, just you have to get something custom. So these were RV doors with padlocks to keep us safe. It was painted by a company in Indiana that we were really happy with, so we went with the blue because before it was yellow, and then the metal that was wrapped around from the roof raised, and so we're happy with the way that came out. But we put in RV windows that we bought off eBay.
No way.
Yeah, they were just eBay is the best resource for RV windows. There's millions of them.
Okay.
So we put two in the back too as well. And then the main feature that everybody likes to ask about is what is that?
Yeah.
So the front half is solar. So we have 8 100-watt panels up there that help charge the battery, so we can be off grid, so we don't have to be tied into any place. So that charges the battery. So basically, outside of the AC units, every last thing on our bus, the fridge, our lights, our appliances, everything is ran from solar and the batteries.
Oh, cool.
So theoretically, we have a 110-gallon water tank. Theoretically, if we're resourceful with our water and food, we can be off grid for 2-3 weeks at a time and not need anything.
We have to look into that.
And then the back half is a deck. That's where we like to have happy hours, and we like to stargaze and things like that. So.
Oh, can we go up top?
Especially if you boondock.
As soon as they said that, I want to go up
Let me
top.
hold the baby so you can actually get up there.
And so we have our back door that we can access from inside the bus, obviously. And we have stickers. Those on the top is all the people that we've met along the way. And then these are all the places that we've been so far that has actually had stickers. And then on the back deck, we basically took the bumper out and extended that from the actual bus itself, and then we made little inserts for our black tank hose.
Okay, that's awesome.
Obviously, you don't want the black tank hose inside the bus, so before it was underneath the bed, and we're like, nah, we're not doing that anymore. So we built that in, it locks in, propane, and then this is our ladder that goes up to the rooftop deck, so feel free to come on up.
Yep.
I have to say, it like makes you a little bit.
So you got 2 ACs?
Yeah, so we have an AC unit up there where you're pointed, and then we have one inside of our rooftop deck. We cut a hole that basically goes around our deck. So this is right above. Basically, if we were to go through the ceiling right now, we're where our heads would be in the bus. So it's nice on hot summer days that thing just blows cold air right on your face when you're sleeping. It's also a good noise cancellation thing for when I'm watching movies up front and she's trying to go to bed.
Okay.
When that thing's on, she can't hear anything in the front, which is kind of nice.
It's noisy. Where do you get most of your ideas from? Like
other people. So almost everything that you've seen throughout this tour has been inspired by or taken from another build. So there's a community on YouTube and Instagram and places that are, there's thousands of people that do this. And so I probably watched arguably 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours of other bus builds, and so that's how we were able to acquire the knowledge and the resources to build all this stuff. But this is something that is probably not super practical because we don't use it as much as we should. But when we're in a spot where it's useful, it's super nice.
We were in Virginia. Remember, Andre, right after the reunion for the end of the Washington?
Yes,
And Andre and I actually got on top of the car just to look at the stars. Because it was so beautiful.
Exactly. I had to think about that.
And that was just Virginia. That wasn't out west. That's just in the maybe an hour and a half outside of DC. And we were just sitting up looking at the stars. And I don't think it was hard to move. Like we had to get up and go, but it was hard. I think we stood like an hour and a half. Lay down an hour and a half just looking at the stars.
Another thing I'll point out this just because people might want to know. Another thing about this rooftop structure is people ask how do you even start building something like this. It's the same thing with the bus, is that the ribs of the bus. So the ribs are the strongest part of the bus all throughout, and so unistrut, or I like to call adult Legos. Basically unistrut is, we used it a lot in our build. We used it to tie the black tank to the bottom. We used it to tie in her passenger seat. We used it for the deck, the solar, and basically what it is just instead of welding anything, you just use unistrut and bolt it to the ribs of the bus, and that's the way. And at that point, you just basically link everything together, and then you screw in the wood or the solar panels. And so people ask, how sturdy is this, or will it fall off while you're driving down the highway? And the answer is no. It's not.
Is there a big drag though with this? No.
No, it's because there's airflow underneath and above, so for the most part, we've never had an issue with it, and we really enjoy it.
It's beautiful.
Right, Kyle and Naomi, how can people find you? How can they find out more about you?
Instagram and YouTube.
We're Shutter Speed the Skoolie, so remember Shutter Speed like a camera. Skoolie is spelled S-K-O-O-L-I-E.
All right.
So Shutter Speed the Skoolie, YouTube, Instagram. Message us, feel free to at any point.
Like and subscribe.
You got it.